judge, quote, "The defendant lied about a matter of great national and international significance. This is not campaign hijinks. This is not Roger just being Roger. He lied to Congress. He lied to our elected representatives. The sentence is not just about punishing him, but also about deterring others and upholding the law. It has to send the message that witnesses do not get to decide for themselves whether Congress is entitled to the facts based on what they think about the topic being investigated or who they fear could be embarrassed by the topic being investigated." The judge says, quote, "There was nothing unfair, phony, or disgraceful about the investigation or the prosecution. The House committee, which Stone lied to, which at the time Stone testified was under the control of the Republican majority, the Senate Intelligence Committee, which remains under the control of the Republican majority, the special counsel who was appointed by and serving under the supervision of the acting attorney general of this administration, and the current inspector general of the current Department of Justice, all investigated the circumstances surrounding the 2016 election. And all have concluded, like the multiple agencies charged with protecting the United States' national security, that the fact that there was a Russian attempt to interfere in the election was beyond debate. It's a matter of enormous public concern. And therefore, the House committee," the judge says, "the House committee had legitimate grounds, indeed a duty, to inquire how materials belonging to the Democratic National Committee ended up in the hands of WikiLeaks and whether Russia played any role in that. The committee had legitimate grounds, indeed a duty, to inquire whether there was any involvement, encouragement, collaboration on the part of the Trump campaign. The legitimacy of the inquiry is an entirely separate question from whether anyone found enough evidence to draw a conclusion at the end of the day." Roger Stone, the defendant, took it upon himself to lie, to impede, to obstruct before the investigation was complete, and he endeavored to influence the result. How could the committee do its job and reach conclusion under those circumstances? So what did the defense say to the jury on his behalf? They said, "So what? So what? Of all the circumstances in this case, that may be the most pernicious." The judge says, quote, "The truth still exists. The truth still matters. Roger Stone's insistence that it doesn't, his belligerence, his pride in his own lies, are a threat to our most fundamental institutions, to the very foundation of our democracy. And if it goes unpunished, it will not be a victory for one party or another. Everyone loses, because everyone depends on the representatives they elect to make the right decisions on a myriad of issues, many of which are politically charged, but many of which aren't. And they must make those decisions based on the facts. Everyone depends on our elected representatives to protect our elections from foreign interference based on the facts. No one knows where the threat is going to come from next time or whose side they're going to be on. And for that reason, the dismay and disgust at the defendant's belligerence should transcend party. The dismay and the disgust at the attempts by others to defend his actions as just business as usual in our polarized climate should transcend party. The dismay and the disgust with any attempts to interfere with the efforts of prosecutors and members of the judiciary to fulfill their duty should transcend party. Sure, the defense is free to say, "So what? Who cares?" But I'll say this: Congress cared. The United States Department of Justice and the United States Attorney's Office for the District of Columbia that prosecuted this case and is still prosecuting this case cared. The jurors who served with integrity under difficult circumstances cared. The American people cared. And I care.